Board meeting for the Essexville-Hampton Public Schools for June 8th. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Here.
Here.
Levine. Here. Morosky.
Yes.
Potts.
Here.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Rushow.
Here.
Sanford.
Here.
7 present.
Any statements from the board at this time? I have a few recognitions of some things that took place this spring. In our track program, Seth Betzel broke a record from 1983 in the 1600-meter run by 6 seconds. Big accomplishment there. Our golf team won the regionals and they wrapped up 7th in the state. Our Quiz Bowl team, made up of Cooper Jacobs, Cameron Cardenas, Josh Jackson, and Leo Brannigan, competed this past weekend in Atlanta, Georgia, and they finished in the top 10 nationally. Our softball, we had a few school records. Sadie LePan tied Sarah Baskett's record of 12 home runs in a season. Ella Coakley has a single season batting average of 530, and she also broke the stolen bases record, which was previously 110, it's now 115. And then lastly, our soccer program had a dramatic district championship, double overtime, nothing scored in each of those overtimes, and it went on to a sudden death shootout for that victory. So just wanted to recognize them. I made an error already. It doesn't take much. I need a motion to approve the agenda with the amendments of the SRO contract and the resolution for Huntington Bank financing.
I will motion to amend the agenda as outlined.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Neary.
Yes.
Levine.
Yes.
Morosky.
Yes.
Potts.
Yes.
O'Neill.
Yes.
Rushow.
Yes.
Sanford.
Yes.
7 yes.
Any further statements from the board?
I'm glad it's summer break. And teachers are glad, and kids are glad, principals are glad. So, happy summer break.
Dr. Lewis, statements.
Yes, first I would like to congratulate the folks who are retiring from our district at the end of the school year. Two of them are with us today. We did a brief reception for them. So Ms. Kelly and Mr. Pickett, if you guys want to stand for a quick applause, thank you for 32 years of unblemished service to our district. You will both be missed, and as I understand the rules for retirement in the state of Michigan, you can call us in 6 months. I'm sure we can find a spot for you, even as a sub, something. But seriously, thank you for your service to our district. 32 years, you don't see that a lot anymore, and so we really appreciate it. And wishing you all the best in whatever comes next. A couple other items. June 14th is Flag Day. June 21st is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers, both in the room as well as those who are watching the board meeting online. And then, of course, as everyone hopefully should know by now, our district has a bond proposal on the August 4th election. Lots of things happening. I believe postcards should be going out to residents in the next couple of days. I will be doing various town hall meetings. This past Monday, I was invited to the Hampton Township Board of Trustees meeting, where I spoke to the trustees and Hampton residents. Tomorrow I am presenting to the Essexville City Council meeting during their regular meeting. And then prior to absentee ballots going out on June 25th, I'll be doing 2 town halls, both on June 23rd, noon at here in the city and 6 p.m. In the township. And then I will also do more town hall meetings in July prior to early voting beginning in July. So the bond efforts are underway, and more information to come. Please check out our website bond page. It was updated over the weekend. You can put in your address to see what the tax implications will be for you. There are videos, just lots of different information on the website. So we encourage folks to go to the website. That's ee-hps.net/bond. Those are superintendent comments.
After 64 years of service combined, you probably want to leave. And we totally understand that. Thank you again.
Thank
Well, yeah, we're welcome Tuesday. Next, statements from the public as it pertains to this evening's agenda. Next item is our consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Levine,
Yes.
Marowski,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Rocha, Waring,
Yes.
Sandsworm,
Yes.
7 yes.
Item H is the board committee reports. Next, first up is the NHS check presentation.
Mr. Campbell, is there anything that you'd like to share before we go into the?
Just quick introduction. Ms. Zabs and our, one of our fearless leaders, Alana Sauter, here to talk a little bit about some NHS fundraising this year and what the students have decided to do with some of the money savings.
All right, we decided like our main goal for NHS this year was to raise money for industrial arts, specifically car care and home maintenance. We thought that they didn't have the funds they needed to really benefit the students. One of our first fundraisers was the silent auction. We all contributed a raffle prize that we put on Facebook to raise money. The next thing we had was a food drive to donate food, but also win a Dow Gibbs grant, right?
Yes.
From that, and
So a Dow Gibbs grant is a $1,000 grant that we received from the Bay Area Community Foundation. And in order to receive that, we had to provide 50 hours of volunteer service from minors. So we did a food drive in partnership with the United Way. They donated some food items, and then the students also did donation drives themselves. And then that was distributed to all the schools in Essexville-Hampton, and then also some of the Bay City schools as well.
after that, we had the spaghetti dinner fundraiser, which new this year we did where someone could buy it to get donated out. It's another way to help like the community. And then lastly, we had the dog walking, which was another way to get a grant, having people volunteer to walk dogs.
Yes, the dog walking one was another Dow Gibbs one, so we had, were you at that one? I think we had about 35 students go to Bay County Animal Shelter on a Saturday and walk dogs. We've done it every year, so this is the 6th year that we've done it, so it's a pretty cool one. And the spaghetti dinner one this year, like Alana said, in an effort to sell more dinners, we did a, what did we call it, like pay it forward meal. And the community really showed up for that because usually we sell around 100. We sold over 200 this year, so we were able to donate them back to families that were identified by admin and counseling in the district, so that was pretty cool. The goal was $5,000, and they met it. They raised about 5,100, so that is going to the Industrial Arts Department, specifically for the car care and home maintenance programs, which were new last year, I think. So that's why we identified that. So, any questions? Okay, we'll take a quick break.
Sure. Facebook or
One over Facebook.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Next is the Finance Committee report. Mr. Deering?
Yeah, thank you. So the Finance Committee met on June 1st. The primary objective of the meeting was to get a look at the first pass of the budget that Mrs. Jezierski will be sharing with everyone tonight. We talked a little bit also about Project Little Dukes and the amount of down payment that we're going to be planning on making with that. However, the primary objective was the review from the Finance Committee to take a look at the budget that will be shared with all of us here shortly of our time, and you all will get the first look at that with the first read through tonight.
All right, that brings us to the budget presentation.
Okay, so everyone's favorite topic, budget, and this is our 26-27 proposed budget, preliminary proposed budget. As everyone is generally aware, we still do not have a state budget. We're supposed to have one passed by July 1st. We shall see. But just a quick overview of how the budget process will go. This year we have Finance Committee, as Mr. Gearing referenced last Monday, first read through today, board meeting. Any questions, any concerns, we can address those. Any adjustments can be made after that. We will then have another Finance Committee on June 15th to kind of cement the budget, have it available for the public, things like that. And then second read through and approval for a special board meeting scheduled for June 22nd. Just to kind of go through some revenue and expense adjustments and how I kind of built this budget, especially with not having the state budget out. The House, Senate, and governor's budgets all do include $250 increase to the per pupil foundation allowance. If you talk to any business managers throughout the state, that's not going to change. It would be very unlikely that it would change, especially increase. So throughout the state, most business managers are using the $250 increase per pupil foundation allowance, which then brings that to $10,300. Unfortunately, this is below the rate of inflation. I believe it's like 2.4%, and our rate of inflation right now 3.4%. The budget uses a 1,535 person pupil count. At first, I was a little uncomfortable with the number just because of our current 1,500 student pupil count, what we ended with. But I do want to let you guys know how we built that, and I say we because Dr. Lewis and I had lots of conversations through this process. We looked at 15-15 for our in-person student pupil count. And then we were taking like a 20 virtual student, kind of looking at that new program that we'll be discussing tonight. However, in going through the process, and then I believe it was our last Ag Council meeting, we had the principals in the room and we spoke, and obviously this can change. Things are going to change. Kids are going to move out of district, parents are going to change their mind and whatever, but with where enrollment was sitting at that time and the students that were signed up, we were looking at something much higher than that actually, a little bit above 1560. So looking at 1535, I am comfortable with that, knowing where we're going. Is that going to be our number? The higher number that the principals provided, we know that things are going to change through the summer. In terms of all of our other funding, all title, we don't have a budget from the state, so I left all title and at-risk funding, which is the majority of the rest of our revenue. I left that at our current funding levels of 25-26 funding. I don't know what that's going to look like moving forward. Funding removed from the budget was the 27L4. The Minister's Healthcare offset, that was a one-time revenue source this year to help districts offset the cost of retirement costs. And also the enrollment stabilization. If we have an increase in enrollment, that enrollment stabilization is going to come out or come down drastically. So without being able to estimate it, I took it out. Also, a partnership that we had with ISD to help cover half of one FTE of our 2 math and literacy coaches. That is ending, so I had to take that that revenue off of the books. 31AA in all its forms this year was a big matter of discussion. So we started the year with a allocation of about $240,000. I think everybody remembers all the discussion about all the conditions to receive additional funds. A lot of schools opted out of it. So we got an additional $3 over 300,000, giving us 557,000 for the year. I'm not including that much, I'm going back to our funding, I used 250 in the budget. Going back to what we started with, we did focus at that extra money that we did receive, we really focused on one-time spending, because we know that the funding isn't gonna remain at that level. So in spending that extra fund that we got this year, we really focused on one-time spending, like, let's say doors or secure entrances, things like, a lot of the things that we've talked about in and around board meetings. 31AA4 and 31AA5. 31AA4 is for an SRO funding, so we received I included 90,000 in the revenue, and I'll talk about what we actually received in a minute. At the time of building the budget, Dr. Lewis had applied for these two grants, and 31AA5, this is how much I included for revenue for the budget, to cover the cost of the second social worker in the district. All right, on to expenses. Some of these will be standard. We reflect all the increases to staff salaries for contracts. We've had a couple of contracts that were negotiated this year. We do know that the hard cap is increasing 3% at 1/1/27. That's already been communicated from the state. Just looking at increased healthcare costs in general, I used a 5% to increase all the other employer paid medical benefits, or dental, vision, long-term disability, things along those lines. Those costs do increase year after year, not quite as much as healthcare, but I thought 5% was pretty safe. All other general expenses, I increased a minimum of 3%, but I also looked at this year's spending and how things, and listening to the buildings and talking to principals and ad councils and stuff like that, looking at budgets for even things as small as paper. The cost of paper, they didn't have enough in their budget, their preliminary budget this year. So really looked at my amended budget and increasing those costs because of the cost of inflation. Also, in working with the church in the sale of the Little Duke's building, they were able to provide us with some historical cost of maintaining and running the building. So I was able to use that and kind of look at the utility expenses, especially of Bush and Umbrella and like student size, and kind of use that as a platform. And 50% of those costs are in the general fund budget. The other 50% is the daycare budget, which, as you all know, is a separate fund, which is not presented here. This also, so that includes all the utilities, there's money in there for maintenance to the building. There's also funds for a custodian for that building. So that was also added to this year's expenses. Also added to the budget this year was the additional social work position that I spoke about just a minute ago. Also includes the potential for another first grade teacher position. This is based on the projected enrollment numbers that I was talking about and the concerns about class sizes, and particularly first grade. Again, as I mentioned in the revenue, that I removed the revenue from the ISD for those two, for that half FTE for the MTSS staff. I've had to add the expenses to absorb that cost. And then the budget does not include the cost for student Chromebooks and other student-facing IT spending. In the past, I know that's a big line item that I'm sure the board is used to seeing in the budget. We, however, in reviewing our sinking fund ballot language and what's allowed for usage, IT costs for students, like as it's meant for students for learning, we're allowed to spend sinking fund dollars on those expenses. So we made that decision to use sinking fund dollars. So we'll see that and report that out in the sinking fund. Also, one thing that I didn't note on here that I thought might be, because I mentioned the virtual school count, students in the count, also added in the expenses is the cost of that service, assuming we move forward with all of that.
I have a question, Maria.
Yeah.
virtual school.
Yeah.
When they enroll in that, do those students get a Chromebook then to use at home to complete their education and their activities, or?
Yeah, I was
Yes.
making that assumption, yes, yeah.
Okay. And then one other question, just as
Yeah.
I'm going through, I'm sorry. The first grade teacher position, so first grade is projected to enroll, do we have like a big increase in?
Yes.
The kids coming in from kindergarten this year, we.
In
have
addition
a
to school
teacher
of choice.
Oh,
So
okay.
Bush is projecting an additional 17 students next year.
For first grade?
No, building wide, but the way the numbers kind of shake out, first grade is seeing.
It's a lot bigger.
Yes.
Okay.
And so I believe we try to keep under 24.
Right now, they're around 27, 28.
Yeah, so, and if we go above that, then we have to either per contract pay teachers for overages or provide an aid.
Gotcha.
So potentially we are looking at an additional first grade section.
Well, no, I was just curious, I
Yeah.
guess I would have thought kindergarten would have needed that extra teacher this year and then first grade, but maybe that was.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And then just some miscellaneous items, that I wanted to note and why you might see, some bigger numbers in some of those line items. The budget does include, now this, for GSRP, the income needs to equal my expenses in the budget. So the budget this year includes 2 GSRP classrooms versus the one that was in there for this year. So that jumps the revenue. We received the per pupil foundation allowance for these students. It's budgeted at 20 students per classroom. And then the ISD keeps 9% of that cost. Just wanted to note that as of now, it appears, and I think it's in all parts of the Senate, the House, the governor's proposal, that universal free meals will likely remain in place. Also, I think I alluded to this earlier, since the Finance Committee on June 1st, we received notice that those 2 grants that we applied for, the 31884, which is for the SRO, and the 31885, which is for student mental health needs, were both approved. These are the dollar amounts that they were approved for. So actually that 31885, we wrote the grant to cover the existing social worker and 1 additional for 2 years. So that would go into the budget. Because that's not reflected in the current, what you have trying to do. So looking at the bottom line, as you see above, we're seeing a projected deficit of just under 397,000 for the year. Again, in this presentation, I spoke of some items that will change these numbers a little bit. But it does, I feel good about where the progress that we've made, and especially after what was passed last year for a preliminary budget. As you can see, the deficit down over 54%. And then even from the amended budget that I presented in January till now, even further down to 6%. At the special board meeting, I will have the final amended budget for this year. Feeling cautiously optimistic about that one. Hopefully looking better than what I presented in January. Just a busy time, so. Any other questions? I feel like I talked really fast for a really long time.
Thank you. I think it's all good information for a first reading, and then the Finance Committee will meet on the 15th, and then we'll reconvene on the 22nd and take a little deeper look at it at that time. Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Maria.
Next up is the Greenways virtual presentation. Dr. Lewis, I'll turn it over to you for introduction.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I've been talking about, our district is getting ready to launch a virtual school in the fall. We are very excited about that. Our neighbors in Bangor Township and Bay City all have virtual schools, and some of our students are going there. We'd like those students back. As we were thinking about this process, I vetted several virtual school providers. We then invited 5 to come and meet with Ad Council, which is our district-wide leadership team. We then narrowed that to 2 to meet with the curriculum committee, which was on May 7th. And then after those two met with the curriculum committee, based on all of the data, based on all of the feedback, I am now recommending Greenways Academy to be our virtual school provider for the upcoming year. One of the things I strongly considered in this recommendation to the board is that while originally I had hoped to have a separate full-time virtual school principal that would also take on a few other areas in the district based on the budget and different priorities, that position's been put on hold for the first year, and so I'm going to be taking on virtual school myself. And so that was a big consideration. Given that I'll be the one doing it, I really wanted to make sure that our virtual school provider would be someone that would be hands-on, local, and be able to provide the type of support that I'll need. Just already, superintendent's a full-time job, and now virtual school, even in year one, getting it up and running is a full-time job. So, Greenways is locally ran by a Duke, a Garber graduate, whose family still lives in the district. And in terms of what they plan to offer, it's the kind of tailored, customized, customer service, hands-on support that I think we will really need in order to get things up and running, especially in this first year. So I'm really excited about that. Their executive director, Angela, she's not here this evening. She's wrapping up working on her dissertation and is currently in Ireland doing some research. She's here virtually. It's midnight there in Ireland, but she's listening in. She did send a video. Some of you might recognize her. Again, she's a graduate of our district. And then after that video, her colleagues will present about Greenways Academy. So can I hit play button? So we'll play the video.
Hello, my name is Angela, and I'm the Executive Director and Vice President of Greenways Academy. First, I wanted to apologize for not being able to join you in person this evening. I'm currently in Ireland as part of my doctoral studies at George Fox University. This experience is helping me prepare as I begin writing my dissertation this fall. I wanted to personally share how excited I am about this chance to partner with Essexville-Hampton Public Schools. Essexville holds a special place in my heart. In 1997, I was a graduate of Garber High School, and this fall will mark 30 years since my senior year. My family has deep roots in the community, and many of my family members and many of my friends still live in the community today. Education has been my life's work. I've spent more than a decade as a band director and nearly a decade as a principal and academic leader. Those experiences taught me the importance of meeting students where they are, building strong relationships, and creating multiple pathways to success. We do believe that every student deserves a pathway to success. Our team partners with school districts to provide flexible learning options, expanded course offerings, credit recovery, CTE education pathways, and personalized learning support. We partner with districts all over the country to help students who might benefit from those additional options while maintaining strong connections to their local schools and their community. I've had the privilege of working with districts to help students succeed in ways they may not have thought possible in a traditional setting. Bringing those resources, supports, and opportunities back to the community that helped shape me is especially meaningful. Thank you so much for considering Greenways Academy this evening.
And so Angela's colleagues, Abby and Jamie are here, and I'll let them introduce themselves and go through their presentation.
First, where do people see us? You just want us to be
So you guys can come down.
Okay. Make sure they can all see us. All right.
My name is Abby Brown. This is JB Williams. We both work with Angela at Greenways. I've been there 3 years.
I've been with the company for about 1.5 years, but in my director role for about 6-7 months.
Jamie and Angela and I, we've all been teachers. Angela and I were both high school principals. And I can't believe it, like I'm starting my 20th fall in education coming up. JB, you're like
About
15.
14 to 15, yeah.
So we're taking all of that, and we've spent, all three of us have spent over a decade working in virtual schools, and we've seen it done a lot of different ways with a lot of different things, and so we're trying to channel that into making Greenways as great as possible. Go to the next one. Basically, who we are. So we offer K through 12. We are nationally accredited. We're accredited by WASC and Cognia. We have 48 courses that are NCAA approved. And when we do these partnerships with schools, like we are a service. We're not just one of those vendors that's like, hey, here's this curriculum, good luck. Okay, like they slap a teacher on there, you need some help, you submit a ticket, you hear from them in like 5 to 10 business days, it's not us. Like we again, we are more than just a vendor. With this, if you partner with Greenways, you get a dedicated person on the Greenway side. So, Dr. Lewis, you need stuff, you're gonna go to that specific person. We will work together to make it happen. It's just, again, very student focused because we are, like all of us running it, we are educators. Like we still have that pulse on what students need and where things are going. And so that is what we aim to carve out every day. Just getting that, we did that. With Greenways, one of the things that does make us different is we bring in a variety of curriculum. So if you go with one vendor, and I'm sure you guys can all, you can think of like the virtual vendors, okay? That's what you get then. But with us, we contract with several of them, and then we bring in all of those different ones under one umbrella. So we do Admentum and Apex, eDynamic, which is that CTE. We have some FlexPoint, which is for K through 5. We do have some world language through them as well, but you get a lot.
Right.
We can do the next one.
Right, so along with a variety of courses, we also have so much support, and that really sets us apart from a lot of the other virtual schools. Like Abby said, both of us have worked in virtual education. I worked for over 10 years, you're maybe a little bit longer than me. So we understand what the difference is between Greenways and other schools, and that's why I'm here, truly. That's why I would not have left. But Greenways is such a great way to get those students back into these public schools, get them involved. With the support though, we're not just giving you the curriculum and saying, here, you hire some staff that don't know the curriculum, they don't know how to work everything, but you figure it out. It's us. We have our teachers that are on staff, they've worked with this curriculum. We have attendance reporting, attendance intervention. We have that contact, so you can call us, put it on us. We have that direct person that will be there, a phone call, a text, or an email away, and you will get an email back quite quickly. I think that's that's where I thrive too. I'm a very like go-getter type of person. So working at Greenways, I love that because we're all like that. The team fits me and it fits our students so well because we know that you have only so many hours in the day, and we need to get those students, we need to get them there. We need to get them that support that they need to finish that assignment or get done with that class, So you'll have that program support. You're gonna have the live student support as well. We do have support sessions that those students can actually log in with a teacher or with a support staff, and they can go to that session and ask for help. So we have those Monday through Thursdays, a few sessions on Fridays, but the majority is Monday through Thursday. And then you're also gonna get that MTSS support. We're gonna have all of the data that you need. So you will not have to pull all of this data. We will do that for you, and we will work with you to create what you need as a school district so that your students can really thrive. And I think that's what really sets us apart from a lot of the other vendors.
It is your online school.
Right.
It's your virtual academy. It's, just powered by Greenways
Yeah, we
Academy.
assist you in what you need, yeah.
We help bring all of the infrastructure and the state certified teachers
Mhm.
together, so you don't have to do that, because
Right.
that, I mean, as many of you know, that is a lift. Especially with us, you know, we can start smaller, if we wanna start with those 20 kids, great. If we get that rolling, and even by January, if you're like, well, maybe we could do 30. We already have everything set to make that happen. You're not scrambling, trying, oh gosh, well, who's gonna teach that?
Right.
Who's gonna do this? Well, this one's capped out. Like, we have that, and it's actually quite easy to scale with us, which is what a lot of districts, they really like and appreciate. Oops. If you go up just one, right there, if it helps to see this part too, this is kind of like the daily operations. This is, like, Greenways, obviously we're the middle green column, but I mean, you can see all of the things that like we as the company take on, and then where the district support is. And obviously, like the district, yes, like there's still many things that we do need from the district because you're the district. But we try to take all of those, like just the day-to-day operations off your plate, so that way kids get what they need, you get what they need, and we're good to go. Questions? Okay. Just for the district commitments, just another, different layout here. You are still the school. So in the eyes of the state, you are still the school, you're still the district. We do everything you tell us to make sure that we are meeting the mark of not only what you want as the district, but also what the state says, you have to do. With the facilities, like if you do decide to partner with Greenways, Jamie lives locally as well as Angela.
5
And
miles.
so there's a good chance that, you could and would see her in person.
Right.
We do recommend, Dr. Lewis is willing to be that admin, especially for the first year. And then we do need counselor support on your side because, think about it. All those high schoolers, graduation plans, ensuring that they're still meeting the credits and the mark for what you are expecting as the district is very important. With the, enrollment, you guys have enrollment on your website, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's, as the district, you have to get that set up, like how are they funneling? And we give you attendance information, the district still has to roll that up to the state. And then just being a good partner, because that's, Ange and I have done this, we've done this with many schools, we've started several, and really, our best partnerships are the ones where it really is like we work together, we have the conversations, we bounce ideas around what's best for kids, what's best for your community, and they've been really successful. For the cost, so basically what it would be with the updated per pupil funding, 50-50. Because again, you are not paying for extra teachers, you're not sourcing the platform. We have, again, our person who is collecting some of the attendance, the RTI, we're helping manage the teachers, we're hiring the teachers to make sure that if you pick a class, it's all set. It's including all of those things. And with it being the revenue share like this, it's, God forbid you hit a point where per pupil funding goes down. We've had that happen in certain states, and if it does happen, you're kind of covered because you're not like, oh my gosh, we're paying this amount for this many seats, and now we don't have it. And so the revenue share really has worked well for us and our districts. And really just, we're excited to partner with you.
We're so excited.
You
I'm so
approve it?
excited personally to be local.
Mhm.
I've been waiting for this for a long
Yes.
time, and I'm just very excited to have that opportunity if you should have us.
Questions?
Questions?
Yeah, so I know we had a target thrown out there of 20 students. Is there a minimum requirement to enroll?
No.
And then knowing that we're trying to kick off this, do you guys provide support to help us gain those students in marketing and bring it to life within the
Yes,
community?
we do like all the digital marketing, so through Meta, Google Ads, we can target this area, we help prepare print ads. Depending on how you want to run those, that's, up to you, but we can help design postcards if you want to send those, flyers, brochures, all that kind of stuff.
So, a big chunk of our students are school of choice, so is there like a geography that we have to stay within when gaining students, or it's just?
It's whatever
No,
you decide.
We could potentially get students from all across the state and the other states that we work with. It's one school, but we can spread it out through the entire state. We have students coming into that district.
So what is your sell story to the students? Like, what do you guys lead with, knowing that attention spans are short? What's the attention getter they use to recruit new students?
Oh, you want to be online, but you still want to graduate from Essexville-Hampton? Great, come on. Like, instead of them telling you, hey, we're going to go to Bay City's program. Hey, we're going to go join a Stride school. Hey, no, don't leave. Come to ours. Or even if they're not necessarily from Essexville, because I know you guys do retain a lot of your students. You're like, oh, you guys are over here. Come on, come to ours.
And I think
Because again, variety of curriculum. Just, they're going to have a personalized person who is there and working, and we do have student support staff.
We've got that tiered layer of support, really, and I think the families are very happy with us overall, because there are so many students, I know you've seen them before too, that they just need to get those few classes done to graduate, right? And with our support, we have seen so many of those students graduate that didn't think they were going to, or just struggled, maybe they struggle with things. We could be a little more flexible in the way that we can present, and also, I really think just the support that we offer with the array of staff, like having that one support person, but then also having our other staff members that we have on board that, oh, you need specific help with this, I'll help you get to that person. It kind of filters through, like if I were to lead the program, it would filter through me and I would make sure it happens. The parent wouldn't be waiting 2 days to get an answer from a teacher because they'll answer me right away, so, and that's kind of what I do right now. So I think that can be very successful here, and we have had nothing but praise from our families because of the customer service aspect of it, if that makes sense, everybody these days wants something really quick, right? Like nobody wants to wait for anything. I don't want to say that we can always turn around really quickly, but really we do know that that's really important to our families, and offering them the quality with that attention. They're not just logging in and lost. Do you know what I mean? Because a lot of the virtual programs that I've witnessed, that I've worked for, that's the kids, that's the biggest issue, is families say, we have this, well, what do we do with it? My student didn't even know. I got 1,000 emails, I have no idea. We have refined it to be a small school feel where they know they can come to that 1 or 2 people that are on that staff, they'll get an answer, they don't have to sort through 50 emails, So I think that really sets us apart, and our families really enjoy that.
So what is, you kept mentioning attendance, what is the attendance requirements for it?
We kind of give you as
Well, I mean, we follow the state. I mean,
Yeah.
per the state, they have to log in, so it's the same thing. You're not necessarily like walking through the building of your class, but you are logging into the platform and you're going into each of your individual classes and you are working.
Right.
And so we track, okay, do you have consecutive absences? If yes, how long were they? We have certain targets set up to where, hey, this kid hasn't logged in 3 days. So we have things that we do that on our end. Where are you? Okay, like something happened with your login, your internet, like, do you still go here? What's going on? And so by having those things, it's very much like you would do here, but yeah, you need to log in. You have to meet the same, you can log in at midnight. Like that's the beauty of this. It doesn't have to be within the school hours, but you still need to log in. You need your work done.
Yeah,
Because
we're monitoring that.
especially for high schoolers, you have to be earning new credits so you can stay on track to graduate.
So in the past, we've had people, is there like, does the school year start and stop along with our school year, or
Yes.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, we tailor it to. So we use your start and stop, any of your breaks. Like we set it up so that way students aren't getting things assigned on any of those days off when the district is off.
So I'll just comment very quickly on a couple of things. One, first I do want to make clear that the virtual school is not designed or targeted to attract existing students, right? Like we don't want students that are going to Garber or Kramer currently to withdraw from our brick and mortar school to go virtual. The virtual school is designed to be different. So your degree will say EHPS virtual school. If that's the name we ultimately land on, that's the name that I put in with the state right now, that's the name we're going with. So the graduation requirement is going to be different than Garber. So you'll be graduating from Essexville-Hampton Public Schools, but you will not be graduating from Garber High School. So that's an important distinction because...
So do they get to like show up to graduation ceremonies and that kind of engagement with the school if they choose?
So I'll answer those questions. So one of the things we will do at the June 22nd special call meeting is approve a student handbook for the virtual school. So this evening, we're approving student handbooks for our other 4 schools, as well as curriculum guides for the other 4 schools. We would be approving the curriculum guide for the virtual school this evening. We didn't have enough time to put together a student handbook, and that needs to be a collaborative process. So going back to my earlier comment about making sure that the virtual school isn't pulling students from a brick and mortar school, those are things that we will get to decide. So in looking at other districts, there are some districts that allow their virtual school students to play sports, or to go to prom, or to run for student council, etc. And there's some districts that say no, because if you allow your virtual school students to do all of those things, then your brick and mortar students will withdraw and go virtual, right? So we want to make it 2 distinct experiences. We're targeting 2 distinct populations. So for example, one population of students that we are targeting, especially at the secondary level, are students that leave us because they are not on track to graduating in 4 years with their cohort. So in 24-25 alone, Garber lost about 43 students in that year alone. 27 of those students went to the community high school. The other 50% of them went to one of 7 virtual schools. So they still want to go to school, they still want to graduate, but they fell behind. And for those students, being on a sports team, going to prom, running for student council, that's not their priority. They just want to be able to graduate in 4 years. That's a population right now that we currently cannot service, and that's why they leave us. I don't know how many kids we lost this year. I don't know what the number is for 23-24, but that's the number for 24-25. So we want to be able to say to those students who are contemplating leaving, look, you can still graduate from Essexville-Hampton Public Schools. You don't have to go to the community high school. You don't have to go to one of these other several virtual schools. It won't be a Garber degree, but you'll be at Essexville-Hampton Public Schools graduate. You still be a part of the Duke's family. So that's something that we get to decide. My recommendation in speaking to the team is that we should put guardrails in place to prevent students from our brick and mortar schools trying to withdraw and go to the virtual school. So I think we should make it 2 distinct, unique experiences. Again, because the students that are largely going virtual are not interested in some of the traditional experiences. Many of them are going virtual so that they can graduate on time, and our graduation requirement in that virtual school would be lower than the graduation requirement for Garber. So Garber requires an additional, I believe, 18.5 credits to graduate than the state requirement. Or virtual school for high school would just be the state requirement as a way, again, to recapture students who are leaving once they realize the expectations for Garber are a little bit too rigorous and they won't be able to graduate on time. Secondly, many of the students and families who are looking for a virtual experience require that flexibility, because the student is helping to support the family financially, is working, is doing other things, and coming to school from 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock isn't feasible for that student because they have out of school responsibilities. And so being able to do your classes at midnight, on a Saturday, on a Sunday, again, gives us the opportunity to serve those students without them having to leave our district altogether, which is something that we cannot currently provide. In addition, what kind of happens before those students ultimately withdraw from us is that they become credit deficient. And then we end up having to spend money on credit recovery for those students. During the school year or over the summer, this year we've decided to decrease what that looks like for summer school, because again, that's a cost. So those are the students that we're looking to bring back, and it will be up to us. What I will do is make sure the student handbook that Greenways and the district will work together on before it comes to the agenda on June 22nd. I will share that with the board. And so again, if they're guardrails. So I am comfortable at this point saying, if you're in virtual school, you can't do sports, you can't do student government, you can't come to prom. What some districts do is they have one graduation. The degrees are different things. So as opposed to having a second commencement, that is something that we could do. And I feel like in my conversation with Mr. Campbell, we thought that that would be feasible to do it all in the same day moving forward. But that's something that we're looking for. I also want to be clear that while we can serve students K through 12, we're targeting again primarily 6 through 12. We don't believe that, we believe that our younger students learn best in the traditional model. However, we do know that there are families who leave us at the K through 5 level either for behavioral reasons. So you'll have a parent say, I'm withdrawing my child because it's not working out in the building, or they don't feel that they're getting the support that they need. Often, a lot of these families are homeschooling, and then after a year or two, they come back to us, and what they thought homeschooling would be is not what it ends up being. And so what we want to say to those families is like, look, we definitely support and respect your right to homeschool and explore all your options, but you know, if you're thinking about trying to do homeschool for your child entirely on your own and build that from scratch, like here is an option, virtual school, and you can keep your child at home. But we are, again, targeting primarily 6 through 12, and we want it to be a different population. And we could do statewide if we want, we could do countywide, but for my purposes, I think there are a lot of families who live on this side of the bridge who are doing virtual school at Bay City or Bangor. They have to go across the bridge. The Bangor virtual school, their drop-in center is behind Chick-fil-A. They gotta go across the bridge for that. The Bay City Public School drop-in center, I believe there is also on the other side of the bridge. And so being able to say to families who live on this side of the bridge, whether you are EHPS or not, you don't have to go across the bridge anymore. You can stay on this side of the bridge, do your virtual learning, and get the support you need. I think is also going to be a key differentiating factor and a selling factor for us as well. Does that answer all of your questions?
I have one more.
Sure.
So you mentioned so is there an option for summer credit recovery through virtual, or is that not something? And then what would the pricing and how does that work?
So in general, the pricing is per student. So if we have 0 students enrolled in the program, there's no cost to the district person. When we get a kid enrolled in the program, we split the state tuition 50-50.
So even if they take one class, so it wouldn't be ideal for that type of solution?
Correct. So right now, we continue to offer credit recovery. We have a separate party that we use for credit recovery, Edmentum, that we use for credit recovery. We are open to the idea of, in the future, having our virtual school provider also be the provider for credit recovery. There's also something called 21F. So the state passed a law several years ago that says students every year can take up to 2 classes virtually, and the district is supposed to provide that. We use Edgenuity for that. There is the potential for Greenways to be able to be our virtual school provider or online credit recovery provider, as well as our 21F virtual class provider when kids opt to exercise that right. our focus right now is using Greenways as our virtual school provider for this first year. And then we can see in the future, as we grow the program, especially because I'm the one that's running it this first year, to just focus on the virtual school. Initially, when we thought about this, the principal, when it was going to be its own role, would have managed credit recovery, 21F, work-based learning, career pathways, and it was the role was going to be principal for virtual school and student pathways. But because, again, for budgetary reasons, I'm doing the role this year, I just want to focus on getting the full-time virtual school up and running. Does that answer that question?
Yeah.
Okay. Other questions?
Tell me what your student support looks like for a 7th grader who is struggling in math, doing a math assignment, can't figure it out, parents can't figure it out, then what happens?
Content, or we're just not engaging with it?
Engaging with them. They're frustrated. Kid's crying, mom's pulling her hair out, dad just went out to the garage. Like, what do we do?
Hey.
Okay, vice versa, mom's out in the garage, dad's crying, kid's crying.
So our
everybody's
Michigan
upset.
support person, her name is Brittany, so I'm gonna say that. So basically, Brittany would probably first call, and, you know.
But how would they initiate that call? Like, we're frustrated, we're gonna communicate.
So has mom shared that they're frustrated? Has the student shared that they're frustrated? Or are we seeing it just we're like, wow, this kid's not doing anything?
How about they're frustrated with that lesson? They can't figure it out. They don't know how to complete multiplying fractions with whole numbers.
So is anybody communicating it? Like if it's just that specific lesson?
Okay. So they would reach out to you?
Yes.
Via telephone?
Yeah,
Again,
they
or-
would have, like, from the start of the school year, like, they would have Brittany's, her email, they would have her school phone number. They, through that school phone number, they could also text, you could be like, I hate this one.
Okay.
And then she would reach out.
And Brittany's really great about that too, and we, like right now with some of our schools, we'll have every 2 weeks, we call and just to check in. And then, so I do that for one of our Oregon schools with some other things that I do, and those parents just will text me, and they like that better than a phone call. So they'll just text me, hey, unit 1, lesson 2, we just cannot, can you connect me with a teacher, or can you, and so we'll do that, and we're open to that. I think that's, with the small, I mean, we're not super small, but we have that small school feel, where you're not, they're not going to so many people, they have that point of contact, where they're not waiting forever to hear from the teacher, they do have that, and then they have the point person, which would probably be me, in here, and if they needed someone to meet with, if you have a building and a room for me, I'm more than welcome to, or, if you welcome me in, I'm more than happy, I should say, to come in, I really am, because it's, my goal was to find a job where I could still support, with my own children, having some things, like one of my daughters has a medical condition, so I can still work from home, but I want to get back into the schools. When I was working for another Michigan virtual school, I was planning events. I was asking, can we plan events, because I want to see the kids. So I'm up for that, for coming in, and then.
It's the Monday through Thursday, and then occasional times on
So
Friday.
that's a little different. So the Monday through Thursday, we have sports staff, like Brittany, I think, and then we have Bree,
Study
Teresa.
halls, advisories,
Yeah.
and there is math support, which is
So-
a specific time too.
Right, so
2 days a
they'll
week.
host specific sessions, Monday through Thursday, that are live virtual sessions. And then you'd have me I'd be local. So if like once a week or twice a week you needed someone to come in and meet with some of the families who are really struggling, that's okay too. But we do establish a very good rapport with families first by calling them. We have that system of, we call our families and we say, hey, let's connect, and how can I help you this year? Because as you mentioned, they usually always have a backstory already. They already have a journey where either they're high achieving or they're low achieving, somewhere in between, and they need something. So we always have, like Brittany or myself would call and find out what do you need, and then we can make notes and we can check in when they need it. So, but yes, they would have to reach out to us and let us know they're struggling. We can't guess through the computer.
But I also think a couple of things. One, we do plan to have a drop-in center. It's going to be on the 2nd floor of the new building, 619 Main Street. So students who are struggling can come into the drop-in center for both tech support as well as in-person support when they need it. 2, to kind of underscore, italicize, and potentially what I think Mrs. Levine was getting into, there's also synchronous life support. So if a student was struggling with a lesson, having that synchronous live support as opposed to just asynchronous will be beneficial. Your team also offers multi-tiered levels of support. So there's that intervention tiers and step to support students. I will also note, because it wasn't said explicitly, and because she is in the room, we also have you support students with IEPs and multilingual providers. I wanted to make sure I said that. Yes, I saw your face. Or all the teachers are Michigan certified, whether as EL, special education, as well as in their content area. So there is those different layers of support as well. We would report attendance for these students just as we would in other, as our brick and mortar students. And so if a student is truant, that would get reported to the ISD. So we would have the same attendance goal, the same level of attendance expectations. If there are additional expectations that we would like for our virtual school specifically, again, we would have the opportunity to put that in our student handbook for the virtual school, which the board will approve on the 22nd of June.
Okay, no, that's good.
Does that answer that question?
Yep.
Okay. Other
I
questions?
didn't mean to offend any math teachers, any moms, or
Thanks to the two of you for your presentation, and Angela, and especially Dr. Lewis for kind of helping me wrap my head around exactly what it's all going to look like. That's very helpful as well. So thank you. This will be an action item on our agenda later this evening.
Yes, thank you very much.
Next, item J is our action items. Number 1 is the personnel report. We have looking for approval for 2 hires, correct?
Yes.
And one of them is Sophie Nearing, is present with us today, and Kelly Brzezinski. Do I have a motion to approve the hiring of those 2 staff members?
I will motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion? 11 years ago this week, Sophie, we were on a field trip together. 5th grade.
My 11-year-old was very excited that you accepted a full-time position. She was in one of your classes that you subbed and said you were an awesome sub. So welcome to the district, both of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Roll call, please.
Morosky,
Yes.
Potts,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Russia,
Yes.
Waring,
I will abstain due to a conflict of interest from a family member in the personnel report.
Levine,
Yes.
and Sanford.
Yes.
6 yes.
Sophie, you don't have to, but is there anything you'd like to say at this time? No. I just thought I'd put you on the spot. You did that to me many times. Next is a grant for the FAFSA challenge. Dr. Lewis, did you?
Yes, so real quick, this current school year, thanks to the hard, awesome work of Ms. Abs, which are adjectives that always describe Mrs. Abs and the work that she does, our district received a state grant, the Universal FAFSA grant. We initially thought we were getting, I think, 50-something thousand. That ended up being over $80,000. And we put together a spend plan over 3 years. That's all accounted for. Some we're spending on supplies, some we're spending on taking our students on college tours, which we currently don't do, etc. But as a condition of receiving that grant, the state requires that districts adopt a universal FAFSA policy, which essentially says, if I'm just kind of boiling it down, we are requiring students to complete FAFSA as a part of their graduation requirements. Now, to be clear, before that raises any alarms, the policy does allow for exemptions, right? So we're not, if a student knows that they're going to the military or they already have plans, they can apply for that exemption. But what the state is looking for is the district making in black and white that they are committed to making sure 100% of students, to the best extent possible, are completing FAFSA forms.
So if they want to go into skilled trades and have no interest in,
They can be exempt.
they can be exempt?
Yes.
Okay, so we're not going to hold them up?
We're not going to prevent anyone from graduating because they did not complete the FAFSA.
Okay.
But we need to have in writing that it is our goal, it is our mission to have 100% of students complete the FAFSA.
Do I have a motion to approve the EHPS Universal FAFSA Challenge policy as presented?
I make a motion to approve the EHPS Universal FAFSA Challenge policy as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Russia,
Yes.
Neary,
Yes.
Levine,
Yes.
Marowski,
Yes.
Sandsworm.
Yes.
7 yes.
Revisiting our virtual school provider, do I have a motion to approve the Greenways academic MOU and curriculum guide as presented?
I'll motion to approve the Greenways Academy MOU and curriculum guide as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Any discussion?
I'm excited. I think it'll be it seems pretty engaging and something different than we've seen in the past, so excited to see where it goes.
Roll call, please.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Russia,
Yes.
Neary,
Yes.
Levine,
Yes.
Marowski,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
Sandsworm.
Yes.
7 yes.
The next item is the curriculum guides for the 26-27 school year. We have a motion to approve the 2026 curriculum guides for Bush, Oberlin, Kramer, and Garber as presented.
I will make a motion to approve the 26-27 curriculum guides for Bush Elementary School, Verallen Elementary School, Kramer Junior High School, and Garber High School as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Discussion.
I have a question. On the Garber curriculum, there were 2 foundational classes that are new for math support and English language arts. Do those count as full? I saw those offered.
Yeah, I could tell you a little bit about it, but we have Ms. Bowler here, and
Yeah.
she can tell you exactly what it is.
I was excited just to
Yeah.
help support some students who need, I know we have AP classes, but then this helps balance. But I just want to make sure it counts as like a full math credit.
It
For
does
that
for
year.
students with an IEP that would allow them to be placed in course. It wouldn't be general education students in that course, and so it does have to be supported by their IEP, and it has to be considered the least restrictive environment within their IEP. We've run these classes before, 10 years ago-ish when we shifted to co-taught. We essentially got rid of these 2 classes, the basic math and basic English. And we're just returning to some of that to give some more of our students a little bit like a step between. They'll still have most of their classes in the general education environment, but it does provide more tailoring for their needs.
Thank you.
Any further questions?
So I know we've talked about it in the past, but I can't remember where it's at. So what does it look like now? I know it caused a lot of discussion on our top 10 and how we determine those. And I think there was a goal to shift it to where it was, and I can't remember.
Great question. I was actually looking at that today. So the class of 26 was the last class with the old formula. So next year's class is the revised formula that increases the value of GPA,
Okay.
effectively decreasing the value of SAT. We've looked at, previous years, and in some years the new calculation would make a difference, in some years it wouldn't. But either way, the new calculation is in effect next year.
Okay. How does that stack up now? I know that's where we wanted to go. How does it stack up to other districts? Do you have any idea?
I mean, it's kind of all over the place, really. So the TDC, so our old formula is the one the TDC recommends we use for our TDC honors. It's also coincidentally the exact same one WNEM uses for their best of the class commercial. So our old formula was that.
Okay.
Our new formula, I don't think anybody really does what our new formula is. It's just, we looked at what we were doing and we said we want the GPA to carry more weight.
I remember that.
And so schools do everything, I would say, ranging from our old formula all the way to some districts have completely abolished valedictorian and salutatorian. And I know we've discussed that here, that wasn't something we were particularly interested in.
It gets pretty heated.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's the range.
Are you happy with where it's at?
Yeah, I think, like I said, there'll be some years where it would work out differently one way or the other. but for the most part, we'll see those differences more impactful likely at the bottom half of the top 10.
Okay.
At the front half of the top 10, I think there's still a lot of opportunity for a really strong SAT score to carry the day, but really be in that conversation yet and a darn the GPA anyway.
All right.
Roll call, please.
Brushaw,
Yes.
Neary,
Yes.
Levine,
Yes.
Boraski,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Sandsworm,
Yes.
7 yes.
Next action item is the student handbooks for the 26-27 school year. Do I have a motion to approve the 2026 student handbooks for Bush, Varela, Kramer, and Garber as presented?
I motion to move to approve the 2026-2027 student handbooks for Bush, Rowan, Kramer, Garber High School as presented.
Support. Moved and supported. Questions, discussion?
Thank you for all the work you guys put into those handbooks. There's a lot of detail.
Roll call, please.
Neary,
Yes.
Levine,
Yes.
Boraski,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Brushaw,
Yes.
Sandsworm,
Yes.
7 yes.
Next action item is the board policy provider update. Can I turn that over to you, Dr. Lewis?
Yes, sure. So I believe it was December or January or policy committee meeting, I kind of gave the board a heads up that we were looking at moving to Troon, which is our legal provider, also moving to them for our board policy. We currently get board policy through Neola at the beginning of the school year. I think I was in my first week when MASA or MASB sent an email and Leanne came into the office, raised the alarm that MASA or MASB basically was endorsing Troon over Neola. Ultimately, what happens right now is we have Neola for our board policy. Troon is our legal provider. Something happens, we call Troon and say, hey, we need some legal advice. Their first question is, well, what does your board policy say? Because we didn't write your board policy. Neola writes the board policy. So then we have to give them the Neola board policy, or they find it themselves. And the minute I call legal and they answer, they start running the clock on billable hours. And then for them to research the policy that they didn't write, that's more billable hours. And then they help us out with how we should move forward. Why a lot more districts are moving towards Troon is because I think Troon is probably the largest, if not the second largest, law firm representing ISDs and school districts in the state. And so from a cost perspective, it would make sense to go with them if we're calling them for legal advice, if they're also the ones writing our board policy. There is some cost savings as well. Anything under 6 minutes is free. And so what superintendents do, they just hang up the phone at 5:59 if they haven't gotten, and then call back. And I've told our team to look at that 6-minute mark. And it would just be a more seamless process. The Neola policy, which you guys have spent a lot of work on, is a lot more detailed than what the Troon policy needs to be. Neola has also made it very clear that if school districts deviate from the policies that they recommend, then we're kind of on our own. And then the Neola policies also require a separate platform to house. So for us, that's board docs, which we pay a cost for using board docs. The Troon policies can go directly on our website. So we wouldn't need to pay a separate entity. Some districts has put it on Google, their Google Docs. Some districts put it directly on their website. So there will be some upfront costs to making the switch. One of the reasons we're bringing this now is because the Troon policy packet, the cost will increase come July 1. So we're not making the change now. This vote is asking the board to give me the permission to go ahead to commit to Troon so we can get the current prices before the prices go up. And then Ms. Forret, who is attending a webinar later this week on the implementation of the change, once she attends those webinar series, will then come back and share with us a timeline and a process for making the switch to Troon. So we just want to lock in and be able to, for me to have the authorization to commit to Troon so we can get the lower prices before that increase on July 1. Does that answer all the questions?
Just one more. So I know that originally when this first came up, there was concern because Neola was super easy to work with and Truon was kind of painful, and so there was hesitation to switch. Has Truon, have you guys figured out how to work with them smoother, or is it Neola still, like, in terms of the experience, a little better?
So I'm not privy to that conversation about Troon being hard to work with. I've had it's been very easy for me to work with Troon. I know who our real estate lawyer is, who's our bond lawyer, who's our labor lawyer, etc. They call, they text me when I need them. Tim Gardner has called me on weekends, and if I say I need something right away, for example, this Greenways Academy MOU that the board just approved a few minutes ago, I sent that to Jess at Troon on Thursday, and she got it back to me on Friday. So I can't speak to, I'm not sure if that was one of my predecessors who had a hard time working with Troon, but I've had nothing but good experience, and I'm not sure if Leanne, Ms. Poreg, if you have anything you want to add to that?
I think that might be switched, maybe, what
okay.
you're hearing, because I know in the past we had a lot of Neola issues. with
Oh,
our Neola
perfect.
rep.
So this will be easier for
Our
everybody.
current Neola rep is fantastic, he's great, but in the past we did have some issues.
Okay. So there's no concerns then? This one?
Not for me, no. The ISD is making the switch, and many of the other districts, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, it's like 68% of districts are making the switch or something like that.
I don't know about the percentage, but I know the number's rising fast.
Yeah.
Cool.
I will make a motion to move to authorize the superintendent to begin transitioning the district from Neola to Troon for board policy services.
Or
Moved and supported, discussion? Roll call?
Levine,
Yes.
Morosky,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Neary,
yes.
Sandsworm,
Yes.
7 yes.
Next up is the approval of the contract for the EHASA. Do I have a motion to approve the Essexville-Hampton Association of School Administrators contract effective July 1, 2026 through July 29, June 30, 2029 as presented?
I will make a motion to approve the Essexville-Hampton Association of School Administrators contract effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029 as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported, roll call, I'm sorry, any discussion? Roll call?
Morosky,
Yes.
Cox,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Rocha,
Yes.
Neary,
Yes.
Levine,
Yes.
Sandsworm,
Yes.
7 yes.
Next item, 8, Board of Education regular meeting schedule for 26-27. Do I have a motion to approve the Essexville-Hampton School Board's Board of Education calendar
I think
for
I'm just looking at that.
the upcoming year?
Is it the same schedule as this year?
Basically.
Yes.
May and June are the third Mondays instead of the second. Because we have the ISD election, which has to be 21 days before the election.
So that way we don't have a double.
And then June, we're hoping to have less than 10 meetings in the month of June.
And we did, for starting next school year, as opposed to going to each school twice, it would just be once.
That probably makes sense. It's, I think, a lot of strain on the schools.
Yes.
I didn't do that. I'm sorry. I didn't put one school, I didn't put each school once.
The calendar didn't represent that. I guess when I had our conversation, I was thinking that we don't have to do one presentation, but if we want to make that just one time, we can amend that as well.
Yes. I would like that.
How would you like me to do that? Do you want me to just have it
One school per
the
quarter.
year, or do you want it the one school per quarter?
One school per quarter that's hosting and doing the presentation.
I think, well, if we do it for quarter, we would miss, like, one of them would be over the summer, wouldn't it?
We could adjust it towards the beginning of the quarter.
Do you want me to bring that back to the 22nd meeting real quick, just to see?
We do have a motion, so if it's not seconded, just,
It's seconded, the person who made the motion can withdraw the motion.
We haven't had.
Oh, we didn't do a
Oh,
motion?
okay.
Oh, how did we get to discussion?
Someone started it early.
Sorry, I thought we had a motion. Okay.
It's my fault.
So,
Should we offer to the schools when they would like to present? Because they may know if they have a significant event
Yeah.
occurring throughout the year, they may choose, like, October might be a great month for that school to be highlighted.
So,
Okay.
I'll make a motion to table till
Yeah.
the June 22nd.
Support. Moved and supported, discussion?
Who supported, please?
I did.
Thank you.
Discussion, so this will be brought to our June 22nd.
June
meeting for
22nd.
approval as well, okay?
And I apologize for the confusion.
Roll call, please.
Cox?
Yes.
O'Neill?
Yes.
Russia?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Levine?
Yes.
Boraski?
Yes.
Sandsberg?
Yes.
7 yes to table.
Next, item 9, the contract for the school resource officer. I will make a motion to approve the school resource officer contract with the city of Essexville for the 2026-27 school year as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported, discussion? Roll call, please.
O'Neill?
Yes.
Russia?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Levine?
Yes.
Boraski?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
Sandsberg?
Yes.
7 yes.
And item 10, do I have a motion to approve the resolution for financing for the purchase of the property located at 619 Main Street as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the resolution for financing for the purchaser of property located at 619 Main Street as presented.
Support.
Moved and supported, discussion? Roll call, but I apologize.
No, you're okay. With that building, do we have keys for it now? Did we get keys?
The current owners have been very cooperative. Our team was in the building today, our team was in the building last week, but we are still not legally the owner yet. But they've been very cooperative. We've been in there to do a number of things, environmental reports, where the fence is going to go for the third playground. So they've been great partners in making sure that we have what we need so that we can start school on August 31st.
So when is the?
And Ms. Ross has been doing a terrific job of leading that effort as well. I do want to publicly acknowledge all of her efforts.
What is closing date?
As of right now, we're still pursuing a closing date of the 16th.
Okay.
Even if the closing date moves, there's nothing else for the board to do. So this resolution,
Do we get keys at closing?
yes, yes. But there's no further board action after today. So this would be the financing agreement. The district's putting $290 down, financing 710 at a 4.9% interest rate over 15 years.
Roll call, please.
Russia?
Yes.
Waring?
Yes.
Levine?
Yes.
Boraski?
Yes.
Cox?
Yes.
O'Neill?
Yes.
Sandsberg?
Yes.
7 yes.
Item K is closed session at this time. We will need a motion to go into closed session for student discipline.
Mr. President,
Yes.
before we do go to closed session, I do want to quickly thank and acknowledge Ms. Ellie Hugo, who will be one of our 2 student representatives to the board next year, but she did want to come today and shadow. Her term does not officially begin until the next school year. So thank you, Ms. Hugo. Anything you'd like to say as a new student representative to the board? No? Sorry to put you on the spot. But welcome, and we're looking forward to
I motion to reinstate ZG 2026 after a 12-day long-term suspension, as he has demonstrated that the object or instrument possessed by the pupil was not possessed by the pupil for use as a weapon, or for direct or indirect delivery to another individual for use as a weapon.
Support.
Moved and supported. Any discussion?
Thank you, Mr. President. All right,
Roll call.
oh, discussion.
Discussion.
Yeah.
This
Yes.
is part of the discussion,
I
right?
apologize, I
No.
thought you sounded very,
You did.
forward, like we're moving on.
No.
I'm sorry. All right, Mr. Garcia, so as you just heard from the motion, it would be a 12-day suspension, not an expulsion. I want to be super clear that this could have gone very differently. This could have been an expulsion. The 12-day long-term suspension would mean that the 8-day suspension you already served counts, and then that would be 4 days suspension at the beginning of the new school year, were you to choose to come back in person. Mr. Campbell will speak with you or work with you to make arrangements for credit recovery summer school. Mom, I know that was a concern of yours, but it will not be in person as you are still suspended, okay? This cannot happen again. I understand it's an accident, and you made a compelling case to the board, and certainly you owe some gratitude to Mr. Dienauer and Mr. Campbell for advocating on your behalf, but this cannot happen again, sir. Mom, this cannot happen again, okay?
In the rationale for the first 4 days of school is to show that it is a long-term suspension due to the severity of the issue. That's why it's not 8, it is 12. I just wanted to make sure you understood that.
I apologize, Mr. President.
Roll call, please.
Levine,
Yes.
Morosky,
Yes.
Potts,
Yes.
O'Neill,
Yes.
Rochelle,
Yes.
Erie,
Yes.
Sandsburg,
Yes.
7 yes.
Do we have any statements from the public at this time? Any statements from board members at this time?
I have a question. We discussed the SRO contract today. Did we talk to the SRO? What is the area surrounding the parking lot and traffic flow there? I know because it's private property and he's a public service.
So,
Is there any opportunity there, even just a press, like just park a little closer or be a little more present?
Great question. So one of the things we, in negotiating the contract, we did for the first time have a clear job description with roles and responsibilities. So we've had discussions with the city manager, the city's legal counsel, and the district legal counsel have talked. And both with the contract as well as setting expectations, we all parties feel good about how we move forward in terms of the SROs having the ability to issue citations on school property. That's something that could not be determined just from a contract and a job description. We would need to require potentially ordinances from the city and things of that nature, which I've already talked to the city manager about. So that's something that we are absolutely exploring.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Make a motion to adjourn at 8:15 p.m.
Support.
Moved and supported. Discussion. All those in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same.